Hey everybody, TV Chips here, and I just saw Fences, and I'm gonna do a quick movie review about it because I want to. Fences is a play based off of it's a movie, excuse me, based off of a play written by August Wilson. It was written back in the '80s, I want to say ish, and it originally starred James Earl Jones. He was fantastic. I've seen some video of him in it. He's amazing. In 2010, the play was revived on Broadway, and it starred Denzel Washington, Viola Davis, and Mykelti Williamson, as well as Russell Hornsby and Stephen McKinley Henderson. They were some of the main cast members. They've always wanted to make, they've been trying to make a film adaptation of Fences for a long time. It's a beautiful story. It's a very powerful, very gripping story. So the idea of making a film about this has been in the works for a very long time. August Wilson was very adamant that a African American director take on this project and would not allow the film to be made into a movie unless it was made by an African American director. Um, August Wilson has since passed, and shortly after Denzel and Viola and all of them closed Fences on Broadway after they won a ton of awards, Denzel got to work establishing, getting the rights to make this into a movie, and he took on the director's chair himself. The play was worked on by another writer who I can't remember, but August Wilson is the only writer that is actually credited. This is based off of his adaptation, and it's masterful. It really stays true to the play. Obviously, some things are changed and moved and kind of massaged to give it a better feel and make it more movie friendly, but the entire thing is so true and faithful to the play. I've seen the play a couple of times. I never had the absolute honor to be able to see Denzel Washington perform the play, but I have seen it done a couple of times. I've seen it done very well a couple of times. It's a beautiful, beautiful play. So I was very worried at first when I heard that Denzel was going to make the movie and he was going to be the director, because I think with a powerful piece like this, it's very easy for the director and actor, for an actor who's being the director, there's not as much of a system of checks and balances. One of the great things about having a director is that they're there to kind of guide you along and make you better. If you're directing and starring, sometimes you're not seeing the little nuances of your performance that could be better. And that's why a lot of actors directors who act in their movies, they don't win a lot of acting awards because their acting suffers, and oftentimes their acting is inferior to some of the actors in the movie because they're getting better feedback than that actor director is. I don't think that problem occurs here. And the reason I don't think that a problem occurs here is because it seems to me that when Denzel was like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make this movie, I'm going to make it into a film, I'm going to do that, he was like, how do I do this the right way? And he was like, oh, yeah, let me get my cast. So he got on the phone with Viola Davis, he got on the phone with Mykelti Williamson, Russell Hornsby, and Stephen Henderson, McKinley Henderson, and he's like, guys, let's do this. He got the band back together. And if you're going to do it, if you're going to make a movie like this, you get the band back together. That's just the way to do it. So he got everything back. He got the guys up and brought everybody back in. Got a couple of new actors. Jordan Adepo and Adepo. I'm awful with names. Jordan Adepo plays Corey, and a young woman by the name of Sanaya Sidney plays Raynell. Raynell. The film revolves around Troy Maxon and his family in Pittsburgh. And Troy's not a great guy. He's not a perfect man, but he's trying to do right by his family the best he can, and he's not always very successful. One of the things that is beautiful about this play is just the pure emotion that's in it and the rawness of the performances. And one of the great things about this movie is they didn't add anything to it. Like there's no wacky neighbor. There's no there's no added characters to beef up the film. There's there's the 5, 6 main actors, and then there's the other characters. So it's just the bare bones. They didn't add anybody. They didn't bring in this character to play the boss, or the stubborn Miss Pearl. They didn't cast those characters. They didn't put them in the film. They left it the way it was because it's damn near perfect the way it is. Um, and so it's a very good story. It's very worth seeing because it does feel like a play too. One of the great things that they did is they really captured what it is to see a play. It's just the actors. There's not a lot of fancy camera tricks. There's no special effects. There's none of this, nothing. It's just a bunch of actors sitting in front of the camera. Denzel Washington did a great job because he didn't have a lot to do. He really relied on the talent around him. Speaking of which, let's talk about the talent in this film. Holy crap. Like I said, I never got to see this on Broadway, but I feel so honored to be able to see these performances because they are just amazing. Michael T. Williamson is so good as Gabe. Oh my God, he's so good. It's very hard to play those mentally handicapped characters and do them well. So easy to go over the top and be too much or be too little and try. But he just, oh my God, he's so good. He is so good. It just every time he was on screen, I felt like I just felt like this love in my heart. Like, oh my God, I get why these characters absolutely love this guy. Why he means so much to this family because he meant so much to me as the viewer of this movie. The way he was, the passion and the heart within his character. He did such a good job. Stephen Henderson as Bono is amazing. He's so funny. He's such a great actor. He's such a good character actor. He's been in a lot of stuff. And he's just great here. He's so he's that kind of that chill best friend, kind of the sense of humor, but also the little angel on your shoulder at times. He's so good. He is so good. Um, Jordan Adepo is phenomenal as Corey, the youngest son of Troy and Rose. He does a really good job. It's very hard to be in a movie and act. You got Viola Davis on this side and you got Denzel Washington on this side, and it's like okay, yeah, you just kind of fade into the background. He doesn't fade into the background. He does a very good job. He holds his own. Sanaya Sidney, who plays a little Raylene, she's so cute. She's so cute and so sweet. She delivers her lines so great. Russell Hornsby plays Lyons, Troy's older son from a previous marriage. He's so calm and cool, and it's great. It's just what the character needs, and he does such a great job with it. That leads us to our two main characters: Rose, played by Viola Davis, and Troy, played by Denzel Washington. Now, I don't think I need to tell you that they're great because I mean it's Viola Davis and Denzel Washington. If you don't know that they're amazing, you got problems. But honestly, this is a Denzel Washington movie, and it's like, oh no, this is a Viola Davis movie, son. This is a Viola Davis movie because she owns this bitch. She took that movie and she's like, nope, it's mine now. It's mine now. I'm taking this. She is so good, and everything that happens when she is sad, your heart just breaks for her. It just absolutely breaks for her. And when she smiles, that woman lights up the theater. It's so amazing and breathtaking and beautiful. She's so great. Viola Davis is such a great actress, and she brings such emotion and heart and tenderness to this character that honestly I don't know that anybody could do it better. It was a masterful performance. um, I can't see her not winning a ton of awards for this because she's so good. She is so good, and you feel for her. She brings this movie all together. All of these pieces are so great. Denzel Washington is phenomenal. It's one of his best roles he's done in years, possibly one of the best roles he's ever taken in his life. And Viola Davis counters that. She's got this titan of film, and she is going blow for blow with him, and she's holding her own, and she starts winning, and then she pulls back because she knows that this fight's got to go 12 rounds. It's fantastic. The way that they put this movie together, they did August Wilson incredible. Like, they did him great. Honored the memory of that beautiful writer, and captured what is a beautiful, beautiful play. They captured it beautifully, and they held on to all that emotion. I was crying at the end. I was crying at the end. Um, and yeah, I wasn't afraid to admit it. I just walk right out, just boom, just crying. It's a beautiful movie. I highly recommend you see it. If not for the fact that it's just a great film, but you need to do yourself a favor if you're a fan of performances. You need to see this movie because top to bottom, the performances are amazing. But the performances put in by Denzel Washington and Viola Davis, they should be seen. They need to be seen because it's unbelievable how fantastic these two are. It's Batman versus Superman. It's a clash of titans right there. It's Zeus versus Poseidon. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So I highly recommend Fences. It is in theaters now. It might be a limited release some places, but it's out there. If you have a chance, please go see Fences. You will not regret it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. The entire thing is so true and faithful to the play. I've seen the play a couple of times. I never had the absolute honor to be able to see Denzel Washington perform the play, but I have seen it done a couple of times. I've seen it done very well a couple of times. It's a beautiful, beautiful play. So I was very worried at first when I heard that Denzel was going to make the movie and he was going to be the director, because I think with a powerful piece like this, it's very easy for the director and actor, for an actor who's being the director, there's not as much of a system of checks and balances. One of the great things about having a director is that they're there to kind of guide you along and make, as well as Russell Hornsby and Stephen McKinley Henderson. They were some of the main cast members. They've been trying to make a film adaptation of Fences for a long time. It's a beautiful story. It's a very powerful, very gripping story. So the idea of making a film about this has been in the works for a very long time. August Wilson was very adamant that a African American director take on this project, and would not allow the film to be made into a movie unless it was made by an African American director. August Wilson has since passed, and shortly after Denzel and Viola and all of them closed Fences on Broadway after they won a ton of awards, Denzel got to work establishing, getting the rights to make this into a movie, and he took on the director's chair himself. The play was worked on by another writer who I can't remember, but August Wilson is the only writer that is actually credited. This is based off of his adaptation, and it's masterful. It really stays true to the play. Obviously, some things are changed and moved and kind of massaged to give it a better feel and make it more movie friendly, but better. If you're directing and starring, sometimes you're not seeing the little nuances of your performance that could be better. And that's why a lot of actors directors who act in their movies, they don't win a lot of acting awards because their acting suffers, and oftentimes their acting is inferior to some of the actors in the movie because they're getting better feedback than that actor director is. I don't think that problem occurs here. And the reason I don't think that a problem occurs here is because it seems to me that when Denzel was like, "Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this movie. I'm going to make it into a film. I'm going to do that." He was like, "How do I do this the right way?" And he was like, "Oh, yeah. Hey everybody, TV Chips here, and I just saw Fences, and I'm gonna do a quick movie review about it because I want to. Fences is a play based off of it's a movie, excuse me, based off of a play written by August Wilson. It was written back in the '80s, I want to say ish, and it originally starred James Earl Jones. He was fantastic. I've seen some video of him in it. He's amazing. In 2010, the play was revived on Broadway, and it starred Denzel Washington, Viola Davis, and Michael T. Williamson.